So I'm Glenn Daehn from Ohio State University, and talk about a number of things. I'm up to talk about primarily Center for Design and Manufacturing Excellence, and let's see what we have here. So talk about broadly manufacturing initiatives and partnerships, and basically bottom line is Ohio State is really trying to do a lot in the area of manufacturing. We're trying to expand our partnerships, expand our reach, and be more relevant in a way that we haven't before. And EWI is a very special partner in all of that. We're doing this because Ohio State wants to go after big problems, and we see manufacturing competitiveness in this part of the world as being a big problem. This is how the United States, in large measure, has developed the wealth and influence that we have, and it's slipping away, and we don't want to see that happen. If you look at the economics of this, in terms of manufactured goods, we're somewhere in the ballpark of $700 billion a year in the red. This is money that's leaving the country, providing training, facilities, and all of that elsewhere. That's not sustainable. If you're shipping things over long distances, that's also bad for the environment. Shipping adds cost and environmental burden. There's usually overproduction in particular because you're shipping things a long way. It's not a lean way of doing business. We need to do things here, and I think new technology that allows you to do things in a lean manner here is important. If we ever needed to ramp into defense production the way World War II happened, we couldn't do it. The supply chains go all over the world. If we basically cut our supply lines, we're in bad trouble. Even the earthquake in Fukushima years ago made certain things very difficult to source. Just one little place. Things are very non-resilient because of that. And then really important is that little map of the United States. This is where there's I hit the wrong button. That's where there are automotive manufacturing facilities. As that leaves, we lose the innovative capacity that we have, and it's something that we really feel we have to protect. Ohio State is all about that, and then we also feel like there's a human dimension to this that's really important. So just to kind of tie me to this, I've been working a lot with manufacturing ever since I've come to Ohio State. I was fortunate to do my PhD out at Stanford University back in the 1980s. It was a time when Silicon Valley was really growing, and I was, really got caught up with that optimism and saw the sense of community. And I actually see some things here that could be much like that, to bring the community together, rally behind some things. And one of the things that I woke up to most mornings, there was a guy named Scoop Nisker on KFOG who would end his newscast. If you don't like the news, go out and make some of your own. And I feel that's what we're starting to do here. The big win that's been on the newspapers this morning, it's a OSU, EWI, University of Michigan, actually OSU, Michigan working together, imagine that. Yeah, front page of the Dispatch, and Detroit Free Press, it truly is, and I woke up to it on the radio this morning. So this initiative, this whole National Network of Manufacturing Initiative isn't just a proposal that we applied to. I was actually, Chris Conrarty at EWI did a lot of the groundwork that made that thing happen, and then we brought that back here. And I was fortunate to be one of the meetings, and Manufacturing Institute was part of that. And you can make these things happen. We have to nurture them. We've got to work together, and there's some really good things happening. I'm a believer that you can make your own news, not just be responsive to what's going on around you, and that's what we really want to do here. So there are a number of things that we're doing at Ohio State that are related to this, and we are serious about this at the highest levels of the university. In partnership with EWI and University up north, we won this ALMI grant, $70 million from the federal government over the next 5 years planned. Great matching. It's a great platform to nucleate from. And that's the way we see this. We don't see this as an end state, but we see this as a foundational element to do something really special in the area. And there will be research there. There's training has to be part of this, workforce development, and it's really an exciting thing. Ohio State is also searching for 3 more faculty in manufacturing. We just hired about a year ago a guy named Alan Lowe, who's a technical fellow out of General Motors, responsible for the Cadillac ATS being the lightest vehicle in the segment. He's now on our faculty. We're going to hire 3 more people like that and bring other people along with it. There's a discovery theme out there called Materials for a Sustainable World. There will be a large number of faculty associated with that. And they'll be looking at big picture projects. What does the future of manufacturing look like? I think we all think things are going to be much more cradle to cradle. The paradigm where you mine iron ore, turn it into a car, and put it into a landfill, those days will eventually be gone. And what you will think about is how you put materials into something, take that apart at end of life or retrofit it, and we will think about these big picture problems that involve policy, logistics, business, all of these sorts of things, and certainly technology plays an important role in that. And Ohio State plans to be a leader in that area as well. And then a program that we're just starting to really talk about publicly now is Center for Design and Manufacturing Excellence, where this is something that, unlike ALMI, we will have local control on this. We love the federal grants, but if you watch what happens in Congress these days, it's hard to see that steadiness. And while we love that, we want to control things locally. So we want to do this where we combine university innovation, our students, and real business practices. EWI knows how to do business practices in this area. We have a hard time keeping budgets and time to delivery and things like that. We do better at it. We're hoping they can keep us honest. It leverages our assets together, and we think this will nurture awesome and useful facilities that we want to have open for the community. That's really the idea behind all of this. So why here? And it's not a random thing that we are trying to anchor this in Central Ohio. We have some incredible regional assets. Kind of the automobile area kind of runs from Detroit on north and then east and west, kind of Chicago to Cleveland. Columbus is a great part of that. We've got Honda in Marysville, who's been a great steadfast partner in this, that is responsible for a massive amount of employment directly and indirectly in our state. They have a transportation research center, which is a great public proving ground nearby. EWI is a wonderful partner in this. We have a supercomputer, other MEPs, all kinds of these resources, and we want to bring this together. Battelle, National Labs, education partners, Columbus State, we hope to work with closely. We hope that we can share facilities between OSU and Columbus State, figure out how to do that. And then at OSU, our programs really fit something that's in the area of manufacturing. We've got a great tradition in forming materials, understanding how materials work, joining them, coating them, corrosion. These are all top programs that fit this, so it's not a random thing that this was chosen. So the initial focus that we really have for this is high performance structural assemblies. How do you put them together? How do you design them? Right now the paradigm is, if you're going to make an automobile, you take sheet metal, sheet steel in particular, you stamp it into shape, and you spot weld it together around the edges, basically, is the way that's done. You're seeing some interesting things happening with aluminum right now. Ford has announced the aluminum F-150. Honda's doing some great things. There's some great things going on in low volume, high volume. We think that paradigm is going to be shattered someday, and particularly as new powertrains come in and all of that. You will see vehicles that might look completely different. One possible idea is this very light car, this Edison 2 vehicle. And we don't know what it's going to look like, but we want to consider both the evolutionary things and the really disruptive opportunities that might be out there. So with any of these things, really what you're doing is putting multiple materials together, their assemblies. You got to design that, join them, make sure they're not going to corrode, make sure they last, all that. And that basic thinking applies to ground vehicles, aerospace vehicles, white goods, handheld computing devices have a strong structural component to them. And that's the area that we think we should focus on first. It's a fairly wide area, but also an important one. And that's where we're going. So basically, we've been working on this a couple years. We still feel like we're at the early stages of where we're going to go. Stay tuned, stay engaged. And I'm happy to have a snack with you guys afterwards and talk some more.